What's up, everyone? It is Jason Jani, and in this video, we're going to talk about the importance of backing up your music collection. And I want to share with you the two processes that I use to back up my music collection. So I'm going to share with you two ways on how you can back up your music collection. And I want to share with you the process that I use and that I've learned and that I've kind of like stuck to now for a little while, so that I always stay backed up no matter where I go, what I do. And I think you'll find this process to be super easy. So if you're looking to up your DJ game, you're looking to back up your computer and check out a new process, I hope you find a ton of value in this video. Creating a regular habit of backing up your music kind of collection and your files in life and in this DJ world is super important. And I think it's a process that most DJs never really think about until they have a big problem. If you're a Mac user, you probably know about Time Machine. It comes automatic with your Mac. It's super easy to use as long as you attach an external to your computer. But although it keeps your content safe, and I'm not saying not to use it, it usually activates in the most inconvenient time. And I am a fan of Time Machine. I use Time Machine, but I don't use it to back up my music collection. And the truth of the matter is, most DJs forget to stay on top of backing up their files regularly. And in my personal life as a DJ, I have had many friends and even myself deal with the chaos of not having a current backup collection that was regularly kind of monitored and maintained, which just essentially spells disaster if you run into a problem. And that's the purpose of me sharing this video. You know, I started this music management for DJs playlist here on my YouTube channel, basically sharing content of how I've cleaned up my entire music library, my music hoarding for 20 plus years, because my MacBook Pro that I spent over $7,000 on, that was only a year and a half old, legit crashed in the middle of me working on a file, and I didn't have a current backup. The backup that I had was about 4 months old. There was a lot of things I did in those 4 months creating content that I didn't have a copy of. Because of the pandemic, I had the ability to rework how I essentially was organizing my life, my music, and to come up with a plan so that this never happened again. And by the way, if you haven't seen my music management for DJ video series, I'd love to invite you to check it out. It basically goes through how I reduced my music collection from over 145,000 songs to now under 50,000 songs by using platforms like Record Cloud, Crate Hackers, and some duplicate file scrubbing software. And if you haven't yet seen it, please consider checking out the videos found in the description down below or at the end of this video, because I use this process to get rid of a massive amount of content that I never used, that were useless duplicates sitting in my music collection. And it just essentially makes me faster as a DJ, essentially improving my overall performances because I am more organized. And being organized is so important, so you never get that Serato face, so you never get stuck when you're at an event, and so that you have the right tracks at the right time. Backup has always been a problem for me, and seriously, I wish I put these processes I'm going to share with you today in place, because they've been tremendous in helping me kind of get to where I am right now. And I've documented the process, and I'm pumped to share the process with you in hopes of helping you be better in the future. The one thing when I started this whole process, I really wanted to do my homework and talk to a lot of different people. So after kind of going through months of resetting up my entire, structure of how I did things, I went through the process of reducing my music collection from 1.5 terabytes plus to under 500 gigs. And having an active backup was super important. But having a backup strategy moving forward that was easy and effective was even more important to me, so that I never had to go through these problems again. And that's the purpose of this video. I want to share with you kind of the steps that I went through to kind of get to where I am today. So I've decided to come up with this new process, which is a redundant and easy way to keep my music collection constantly backed up and current. And I think it's super easy to manage, especially as we start to get crazy busy, because the world is coming back from the COVID world we've all kind of struggled to get through in the past year. And I wanted to create a process that was almost like automatic and easy to kind of like manage, because my world's going to get really crazy. I'm sure yours is too. So essentially there's two ways that you can back up your files, and you can do it with a physical hard drive or a cloud-based drive process. And rather than say that one is better than the other, because each one has pros and cons depending on what you do, how tech savvy you are, and whatever, I decided to do both because I think it's super important to have a physical copy of your music collection, but I also think it's super important to have it on the cloud so that you always have access to it. Now, I'm not going to tell you what hard drives to buy. Everyone has their own preferences. I love these solid state drives. I think they are super fast. Now they are super affordable. My favorite solid state drive is a pre-built drive and no heat issues, and is incredibly fast. These drives right here, these Samsung drives, have incredible reviews, and they've been around for some time, and I have a number of them. I just picked up this 2 terabyte T7 Samsung drive for just a couple of $100, and last year this drive was over $800. So the pricing has come down significantly, and I believe that for something right out of the box that you can just plug in and use, these drives absolutely crush it. I have a bunch of them. I think they're incredible, and I'm going to include a link to this drive down below in case you want to get like the tech specs on the drive, or you want to even order one through my Amazon kind of like link that I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to include that in the description field down below, and in the event that you're looking to buy a drive, that's what you need to do. But you don't need to. You can use something that you have at home, or one that's been around for a while, or one that you've just had around your office, or just something that you have. Everyone has a favorite drive. Everyone has their own thing. I love the solid state drives, period, end. One quick note, if you are looking to use an external, you always have to make sure that you copy not just the music files over to there, but you also copy over your software folder that you use, your DJ software folder and its contents of the drive, so that you can keep your crates, your file structure, and all the things that you have going on in that software updated and backed up as well. I use Serato, so I will actually zip and copy the Serato folder as well as a Serato backup folder to my hard drive every time I do a hard physical backup. And I do this so that if I ever have to rebuild my entire collection, I don't have to worry about resetting up my crates, re-tagging things, or just reanalyzing my entire music library and so on. It makes it super effective and super easy to have it all built as of that time of when I backed up the file. Also, I want to add is on this external, it's hard to kind of keep up with when to back it up and what's the right time frame. I download music all the time. So what I've done is I've set a reminder in my DJep software as well as my Siri app, where I actually set up a reminder for the first Monday of every single month. I do it first thing in the morning. 30 minutes is set up and reserved on my calendar so that I can set up time to actually do this. And this is religious for me. The first Monday every month, I back up my music collection. I think that's a great kind of frequency to do it. Now, one thing I did learn through this whole process, and this is really connecting with my DMS brother, Drew Pierce, was how cloud-based kind of storage can help you improve your game and essentially keep you backed up always, no matter where you go or what you do. And candidly, I've tried to do this before, but I never really understood how cloud backups truly worked. And I got super confused kind of laying it out. Anytime I tried to do this, files started moving. I got frustrated and I gave up. So I have to give a big shout out to Drew Pierce, my DMS family right there, because he did this video for Joe Bunn and his DJ's Vault. By the way, you should be subscribing to that if you're not already. And he literally walked through the process on how he does this. And it became like a game changer for me, because I've now implemented this into my process, and I think this is the biggest takeaway of this entire video. So I'm going to share with you how this cloud storage process works and how you can keep your main computer and your backup computer always in sync using DROPBOX. And if you're able to put this in play and actually understand it and actually do it, it will help you one day more than you ever will know until you have a problem. And man, I wish I did this a long time ago. DROPBOX is a super interesting platform that I've basically used for a long time. And this process could be used with whatever cloud storage system you use, but I'm going to talk about DROPBOX because it's literally a game changer for me. And I think it's the platform, the cloud storage platform that I'm the most comfortable with. I've used it for a long time. We use it at SCE. I love it. It's awesome. And it actually has some really cool app kind of integration that makes this process even easier than some of the others. So If you're into Dropbox, you need to install it, and you essentially have to create an account. You log in, enter your information. I have a professional account. It gives you more storage, and it's better and just awesome. But you can essentially, once you have an account, you can download the app to your computer, to your phone, and you are ready to go with cloud storage. The first thing, and one of the most important things that you need to do with Dropbox or any cloud kind of system, is you need to set it up properly. In order for it to work, you have to set it up properly. And the first thing you need to do is name your Dropbox folder, and you also need to make sure your computer is named the same thing on your main computer as well as your backup computer. Once it's installed, you will find this cloud folder on your computer, and it is important that name is something easy for you to remember, and the name is the same on your main computer as well as your backup computer. That is so important. So your computers have to be named the same, and your Dropboxes need to be named the same. From there, you have to open Dropbox and you have to open the preferences. And I really think that the key to this is the sync tab. The sync tab is basically how this folder is going to interact with the files on your computer, and we want to select selective sync, which basically allows you the ability to only sync the files in this Dropbox folder that you pick, that you select. So you select the folder that sits in your Dropbox folder that is going to contain all of your music files, and you only select that one unless you want to include more basically up on the web. One more important thing is to save the hard drive space kind of like selection to off, because if you put it on and you run out of hard drive space, it's basically going to throw all your files up into the cloud, and we want to make sure that you have local files. So it's super important that you want to select files added to the web default to local, and that's a big deal because then all of your music library will remain on your local computer, but it will also be backed up to the cloud. The local computer is what is going to sync to the cloud. After your Dropbox folder and file structure is selected to local, and to keep everything on the local drive, you now need to move your files to this folder as the root home base of your music library. And I learned how to do this using Serato. I'm a big Serato DJ fan, and I used it by selecting the folders in the Files tab and then essentially dragging them over into the Dropbox root folder on my computer. Now, depending on the size of your overall music library, Serato in this case will move over the files to this new location. And it could go quick or it can take a while depending on how large your music collection is. The cool thing about using Serato to do this is it will also update the location tags for your individual files so that your crates do not change. The music found in your music hard drive or in your music kind of Serato crate collection will be automatically updated. And once you do that, all your files move over to this new location, but you don't have to rebuild any crates. And that's the strong part of this. Once you do this on your main computer, and once you selectively sync that this folder be backed up to the cloud, and you now open up your backup computer and you do the same process, it will keep a mirror copy of your files in that folder on both computers. As long as you have the hard drive space to kind of manage your music library, you can keep a mirror of both kind of music sets up on this cloud drive and on both computers. Everything will then be synced. All you need is just Wi-Fi access to kind of run it every so often, and you need to make sure that you have enough hard drive space, and this is so dope. I even use this process now outside of my main computer, my backup computer, to also now include my main studio computer, which is now located in my house or my home studio office kind of workspace that I use. So I have an active Serato and current music library on my main computer, on my backup computer, as well as my studio computer, so that if I ever have to work on any projects or mixes or edits or whatever, everything is linked and everything is in sync. Backing up your music is so incredibly important, and using Dropbox is a way to do this efficiently and easily that I'm just super pumped I was able to put in play, and I was super pumped to learn and just basically get moving for my life, because Man, it's been a long time and I never truly got it, but hopefully this kind of walked you through the process you need to start using this if you're not using it, because it's a game changer, a lifesaver, and is just super, super, super awesome. I wish I did this before I lost my music collection on my last computer, and it would have saved me countless hours of work and effort. But now that it's in play, now that I have it working, now that I have it figured out, I am just super grateful because I am really positioned to crush it in the event that I ever have a tech issue or a computer problem in the future ever again. There's some other pros to this actual software and Dropbox cloud-based stuff is if you download the app to your phone, you can actually access the files on your phone as well, which is super cool if you're on the go or if someone needs a song or whatever, you could just forward it over or share it with them if you need to. You also have kind of a redundant backup in play on a mobile kind of device in the event that you run into an issue at a party or at an event, or if you get stuck somewhere and they're looking for a mix and you have a mix on your drive or in your collection that you use, you can essentially load it up and start playing off of a mobile device, which I think is really, really powerful. And just, it's a great way to kind of keep things secure. So I hope that you learned from this video. I know there's a lot of content that's swirling around in this video. If you have any questions or you feel that I missed something, please throw it in the comments down below. I'll be happy to engage and interact with anyone and answer anything I possibly can. Shout out to Drew Pierce, shout out to the DJ's Vault, and just shout out to Dropbox for this new cloud-based storage system. I think is just insanely powerful and just super, super, super cool. My name is Jason Jani. Be on the lookout for more content tripping right here on this channel in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Thank you so much for your time and energy watching this. We'll see you real soon.